Hi, I am Baby Shalini, Associate Professor, Department of ECE, Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. In this video, we are going to see about one of the most important basic electronic components, transistors. So, what is a transistor? A transistor is a three-terminal semiconducting device that regulates current or voltage flow, and it acts as a switch for signals, which means whatever input is given to the transistor will be passed at the output end. Now, why do we need transistors? Suppose that you have a FM receiver which grabs the signal you want. The received signal will obviously be weak due to the disturbances in the transmission. Now, if this signal is read as it is, you cannot get a fair output. So, this signal needs to be amplified to get a good quality. So, amplification of devices is done by transistors. So, transistors perform two main functions. One is amplification of signal and the second one is it acts as a switch. So, upon the available options, it regulates the incoming current or voltage of the signals. So, next let's see the construction of transistors. Actually, there are two types of transistors, PNP and NPN according to the construction. Just look at the first figure which represents NPN, which means a N-type semiconductor, and then we have to join it with P-type semiconductor, and then it is injected with a N-type semiconductor. So when diffusion is done in this order, we will get a NPN transistor. In a similar way, when we are diffusing P, N and P-type materials, then we will have a PNP transistor. Next, we will see the symbol used for representing transistors. So, actually the transistor is a three-terminal device and the terminals are base, emitter and collector. And the emitter is always represented by an arrowhead, and if the arrowhead is towards outside, then it is a NPN transistor, and if the arrowhead is towards inside, then it is a PNP transistor. So now let us see the construction of these emitter, base and collectors. So the emitter, which is the first terminal of the transistor, and it should be of moderate size and it should be heavily doped. The main function of emitter is to supply a number of majority carriers. So since it needs to supply many carriers, it has to be heavily doped. Either it will be electrons or holes based on the type of diffusion. As this emitter emits electrons, it is given the name emitter and it is represented by the letter E. Now come to the base. The base is the middle between the emitter and the collector. And the base has to be a thin one and it should be lightly doped. The main function of base is to pass the majority carriers from emitter to the collector, and the base is represented by the letter B. And last one is collector. The rightmost terminal is the collector, and it should be a larger in size, and its function is to collect the charge carriers which are emitted by the emitter. And the collector has to be moderately doped, and it is represented by the letter C. So next we will see the biasing methods used in transistors. So the first figure represents a PNP transistor. So just consider the arrowhead represents emitter terminal and the center terminal is the base and the last rightmost terminal is the collector. So always in a transistor, for proper operation, the emitter base has to be forward biased and the collector base junction has to be reverse biased. So forward biasing means the positive terminal of the battery has to be connected with positive terminal or P-type semiconductor, and the negative terminal has to be connected with N-type semiconductor. And the collector base junction is to be reverse biased always. So that is represented in the rightmost diagram also in the NPN transistor.